So here we are now with, I'm going to embarrass you, back-to-back Man of Steel. You've been there, you've done it, you've got the T-shirt. As a supporter of the game though now, are you as excited as we are for what is about to
yeah, definitely. Pre-season's a long time in it for the fans and those that love the game, and I'm certainly one of them. Really excited. I think there's a whole different look on a number of teams this year, and I think it's going to be a tight competition.
We all know Paul's heart was at Warrington. He says with it.
Still a part of me a while.
Oh yeah. But no. Realistically, St Helens is the club that you're most closely associated with. So let's talk about them. Paul Rowley coming in. We know Paul's an expansive coach. He's got some incredible talent there. As somebody who has got a keen interest in St Helens, you must be excited about what potentially could come this year from them.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm close with the chairman, Emma McManus, and I think they know that they've probably not invested in the club and the team enough to compete in the last couple of years, and I think they've recognised that and they've done something about it. The likes of Jackson Hastings, David Clemmer, obviously Paul Rowley. Paul Wellens is a great friend of mine and an exceptional coach. I just think Rolls is a bit more away from the players. He's not got them relationships as a past player. And I think he'll just bring something different, and I'm really excited to see what happens.
As are we. I mean, even the neutral, you want a competitive St Helens in Super League. The more competitive it is, the better. And it does feel this year with the acquisitions that have been made across the league that it could get even tighter, because for me, Wigan and KR have almost stood still. Almost. I mean, Wigan have been unlucky with Ollie Wilson's injury. KR, they have lost JWH, brought Tom Amon in, they have made a few changes, but the other teams have really pushed. And that should condense it, shouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of the unknown. I mean, some of the players who've come over, I don't know, so I don't really know what to expect. You look at some of the investment the likes of Castleford have made, and and their new owner. It's great. It's what we want to see, investment into the game. The stronger every team is, the better competition we've got. Obviously, Hull KR are the team that everybody's chasing. Done the treble. Willie Peters is a fantastic coach, and they've got a strong squad, as Tom Amon as well. We've all seen what he brings, of his time at Lee. And I think it's exciting.
It is an exciting season. Just going back to Paul, we mustn't forget that Paul Wellens, without that investment, took Warrington all the way in 2024 in playoff game 1, and we're close to getting to the grand final last year. And I think it's right that we look back on his time at St Helens. He did a good job based on, like I say, a lack of investment, players' injuries. He had some horrid luck where injuries were concerned. We can look back now and hopefully give Paul his dues. He did a good job.
You know what? And what you've not got to look past as well is Paul was assistant through all that great period of winning 4 in a row. So he's had an impact on them players. And I always said it to Wello. It's is it a job that you want? Head coach at St Helens. You're a St Helens boy. You're a St Helens legend. You're in that goldfish bowl of you can't get away from it. And ultimately, you're as good as the players you've got. Yeah. And that era that Wello took over, even though they're a team that have won 4 in a row, a lot of them players are 4 years older now. Yeah. And kind of, on the back end of their career. And if that investment into new players, be it players not available or whatever, you can only do so much sat in the stand. Wello's such a great, respected coach, amongst, St Helens players. Obviously, he's done a lot with the England staff. He's worked with all the best. Yeah. Your Steve McNamara's, Sean Wayne's, Wayne Bennett's. And it's great I was absolutely made up when he got the gig in the NRL, because I just think it's get him out of the bubble. And he'll learn so much more as well in the best competition in the world. Yeah,
I think that's a great tribute to what he was, and I think he handled it with great dignity as well. But coming back to the 2026 season, the fact that they haven't extended this, it remains a top 6. You look at the top 6 that was last year, you'd hope that Warrington, of course I would, you'd hope that Warrington get better. Catalan, another unknown quantity. Joel has made 13 changes there. Huddersfield, if they can stay fit, they were unfit last year, they'll be throwing the rat into the ring as well. Hull FC, it really could be a very exciting back end of this season.
Definitely, and you can talk about all these teams, and until a ball's kicked, nobody knows what's going to happen. and it's got to be that consistency all the way through the season. But I'm excited to see. Great to see some new faces in. Toulouse. Great to see Bradford back. Hopefully they can get back to where they were when I was playing. It's a great club with great history and one of the most successful teams in the Super League era. And obviously, my old mate Mash leading the York charge.
And that's good, isn't it? Because I said
York's
to him,
a big city. There's Clint has put a lot of investment into the club, and we want to see them successful. I've just interviewed there Mark Applegarth with Betfred, and their ambition is to make playoffs. He said, I'm not here to be defeatist and say we hope to survive, and you've got to aim high, and they've signed some experienced players.
Yeah, they have,
and hopefully that youth and exuberance can bring some performances.
And I'm pleased for him, because obviously when he left Wakey, I thought, like Paul, he handled that season with such dignity, the 2024 season. So for him to get another shot with York, I think it's a great story.
It's marvellous, and there was no doubt he was ever going to do that, because I worked with Mark on the England programme, and it is such a great guy. He's a great manager of people, of players, and his knowledge of the game, and there was never ever doubt that obviously sad departure from Wakefield, but it was always going to be somebody else's benefit.
Well, as you know, it's how you rally from adversity, because you had that in your career. We'll end on that. In terms of, it's a World Cup year, you've been there, you've done it, you've got the T-shirt. I want to go into Paul Sculthorpe, the player. You never took anything for granted when you were a player. In a World Cup year, take us into the mind of an elite athlete in rugby league. When you know that's at the end of the season, does that affect you in the season?
No, I don't think so, and I don't think and there'll be one player in Super League that'll be thinking about a World Cup. They'll be thinking about week one in Super League and their club, their team. If they are looking at a World Cup, they'll come unstuck, because there's a lot of rugby in between. And what you want from the best players is consistency. And lead your club to success. That's what makes the best players come the end of the year, to beat the best players in the world.
Well, what I would say is this. I found out today, unbelievably, quite a lot of players watch me podcast, and I'm really pleased about that. So there's a lot of players that are competing for those positions. So as somebody who has played for England at a highest level, what would your message be to those players going into the new season? Obviously, I know what you said about concentrate on the here and now, but just to give them that added motivation, because when you talk, they'll listen. Motivate them. Yeah,
do you know what? When as a player, you can only control one thing, which is your performance. So be it on the training field, be it in the gym, give everything to make you consistent throughout that year for your club. The England bit and the Great Britain bit will take care of itself, because if you're the best player in your club and you're leading your team to success, all them rewards of playing international football will come on the back of it. And what you'll also do, you'll go into them, World Cup or Ashes series with confidence. You need to be playing well week in, week out.
I think the message there is have no regrets. Would that be fair?
Yeah, have no regrets, but you know what? Live every day wanting to be the best.
Well, you know all about that, mate. Congratulations on your 2 Man of Steel. I know it's a long time ago, but not many people have done that, pal.
Thank you.
Paul Sculthorpe, thank you for your time.
Good.